weeks, we relist it. It's not really an accurate representation. So if we're looking at that home, again, us as realtors sometimes use it and it's, hey, I sold the house in 7 days. No, you didn't. You were listed 3 times before. You're actually on the market for 84 days.
Right.
It's the same as I don't really ever look at, sometimes I do. I shouldn't say never. I sometimes look at what is your average sale to list price.
Okay.
But again, that's different. We're trying so many different strategies right now that it could be 34% over. Great. To me, I'm like, did you get market value? And that's where I kind of look at it more on a case by case basis for a property rather than just as a stat.
So the average days on market stat could be skewed because someone is, say, taking a 40 days on market listing, and terminating it, and then selling it in 5 days. So that brings down the average days on market.
Correct.
But if you're paying attention to something like the supply, you get a clearer story of what's going on.
Now, I included in my weekly report that I send to my clients. So anyone that has a listing up, I send them the weekly sales overview. If they're in Oshawa, Whitby, or somewhere in Durham, I send them their neighborhood sold, so their community. Here's everything that sold. Here's other things that sold in your price point. And in that, I do include days on market just so that they can see it.
Right.
But again, the thing with stats I find is you can use it as a very positive thing for you, or you can use it as a negative.
Right.
It all depends on how detailed you're getting in your stats one way or another. So again, Whitby 123 versus 127, so pretty flat there, and you're 87 to 113. So again, you're down here quite a bit of homes as well, roughly in that kind of 25 to 30% ratio. And that's where Whitby has been stronger. Normally, you're not even close. Like Whitby had more homes sell than Oshawa did, which is crazy, especially when you look at average price points. If we go back to other years, they're opposite. Like Oshawa is always outperforming Whitby. And that's where things like that interest me. I will sometimes dive deeper into it and say, okay, why is it? Why is all of a sudden Whitby selling more homes than Oshawa? Is it a buyer? Is it a price point? Is it stigma about, say, it's Oshawa? Realistically, Oshawa is the cheapest place to move to in the greater GTA area. So you think when affordability is an issue, people would still be coming to Oshawa. Right. Or has that buyer just halted and all of a sudden we're looking at more of a luxury buyer moving into Whitby, moving into the $1.5 million homes?
I'm curious if kind of maybe the reputation of Brooklyn has affected Whitby sales as well. Because my parents do live in Brooklyn, so I pay close attention to that area, and it seems like listings are moving there.
Yep.
And there's a lot happening there.
And to me, one thing that I'm looking at and just kind of monitoring in all aspects of life right now, the people that have seem to be having more. The people that don't have seem to be having even less, no matter what it is. So if you're out at social events, like what is a price point? Because I have people going to things and they're saying, oh, the crowds were packed. And then I'm hearing other times that things are quiet. So who is that buyer? How much are they spending? And what kind of socioeconomic numbers are playing an effect in here? So yeah, if you have money, buying a $1.5 million house is not a bad issue.
Yeah.
It's the same conversation. I have two sets of like two clients right now that are going to be selling both their homes and buying a luxury property. So it's moving. Because they're selling smaller homes, they're not as affected. Their price hasn't gone down, but some of those luxury properties have in Northumberland because you're not getting that buyer coming up from Toronto as frequently as you used to. So that buyer that we're used to, they could maybe be doing that kind of 1.5 in Durham, still having an amazing home being closer to, and that's where it's opportunity. So you just there's lots of different factors, and that's where
Makes
you
a lot of
try to
sense.
figure out as much as possible.
Yeah.
And then Ajax Pickering, I'll make this a bit larger. So Pickering average sale price 1.25 essentially. Ajax down under $1 million again, which Ajax really did not drop under $1 million last year. If we look at 2024, there's 1 month, September, where they were down. So one thing I'm keeping an eye on, they seem to be having more of a struggle this year in terms of sales and getting product moving. And even I've had that conversation. There's a few people in our office that have homes up in Ajax at 850 and they're quiet.
Yeah.
850 in Ajax should be moving.
Yeah.
And then Pickering, I find Pickering a little bit all over the place sometimes. Again, because you're so close to Toronto now, you can have a couple of the big homes sell. It's going to pull their price up. They just don't have the same amount of sales usually. So when you have a smaller pool, say 40 to 50 homes, 1, 2, 3 big sales are going to swing you up. But also if it's a couple land deals that are lower and they're going to be tear downs, it brings you down. So I don't look at Pickering too much. I also just don't deal with Pickering a lot. But I find Pickering similar to Northumberland where it swings up and it swings down quite quickly. But Ajax to me is a little bit more planned. Ajax should be doing better than what it is. But again, when we keep hearing that everything's kind of doom and gloom in the market, we're kind of level to last month. We're slightly down, say 6% compared to last year.
Right.
Not as bad as I thought it was going to be for your average sale price not to decline month to month.
Right.
To me, that's a big thing. The sales are definitely down, which when I look at it, it means the government's going to continue to want those interest rates down because they need that tax revenue to come in. So our next 2 announcements, they are speculated that they'll go down 0.25% each. I think this information is more kind of pushing towards that as well to help them do those announcements.
Right. That'll be good.
Yeah.
Definitely be good.
Keep saving people money.
Yeah.
So that's all I got, unless you have a couple of questions. And then the email will go out around 1 o'clock today as well.
Okay. Sounds good. I'm good.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining the call today. Hope you have a good day.
Of course. Thanks. You too.
You're welcome. Talk to you guys again.
Bye.
Bye.